technically, there seems to be a consensus on the side of the financial authorities, both the DMO and the central bank, to start narrowing rates at the treasuries and at the bonds market, hoping to achieve what?
Well, I think for them, it's expensive for government borrowing at that expensive rate. So if you look at Nigeria's debt stock, for instance, in terms of local borrowing is as much as 15 trillion. For the budgets every year, you see that most of it goes to budget debt service. So that is expensive for the government. So one, they're trying to bring out the cost that the government is going to be borrowing. The Minister of Finance also came out like 2 months ago that they're going to replace some of the local notes with foreign promissory notes. So they are also concerned that the rate of borrowing is expensive. So for them as an entity, they want to reduce their cost of borrowing.
So this is how it goes. You reduce it right now before you offload it into dollars. That looks like what MOF and central bank are working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to leave the rate at about 20, then you load it into dollars, then you still have a problem on your hand.
Yeah, makes sense.
That looks like a game.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be smart. I'm just trying to be smart. I think they are smart here. Try to see if this rate, how low do you think treasury rates could go before they offload it into this dollar currency, US dollar currency new notes? Do you think they're looking at 10%? Is it going to be 15%? What rate do you think?
I'm thinking it's sub 15, maybe between 12 and 15%. But ideally, I think those yields should come at, there should be single digits, not double digits.
Single digits is going to be forever before we achieve that. Because
well, 2 years ago, we're single digits. 2015.
That was it.
Yeah.
But life has changed since then.
Yeah.
And we all know the FX has become the big conversation. So whichever rate, currency is still very key for this meeting.
Yeah, that's a big elephant in the room.
So how big is this? Do you think the central bank is comfortable, at least with where the Naira-dollar relationship is for now? That's the big boy in the FX market.
Yeah, they are comfortable, but of course they can't lose sight. So last week we saw them do about $545
million.
Yes.
That's quite massive.
That's massive. And really there's been a lot of intervention by the central bank. So really they can't afford to maybe lose sleep or lose sight of that. So that's still a big worry for them. So for instance, we've seen a convergence of rates in the FX space. Obviously, we would have seen rate cuts. So for them, it's because they're not too sure of the FX status. So that's one major reason we've not seen a rate cut. So it's a big concern for them. But of course, they have enough armory, they have enough arsenal with over 31 billion USD in external reserve that can serve for about 6 months of import cover. So they are a bit comfortable, but of course, they want to see a convergence. They want to see a bit of stability. Obviously, there's also a spillover effect into the parallel market. So if you see the parallel market is held steady by about 370 Naira to $1. So obviously, there must be a spillover effect from what we are seeing in the official market to that market. So obviously, CBN is not meeting all the demands.
Do you think, in terms of monetary aggregates, I'm thinking that the central bank has a game here in the countdown to this MPC. Selling $500 million Naira locks a lot of Naira out of the system. So the liquidity last week about Naira is that, well, Bloomberg had a report that it was FX shortage. Now it is Naira shortage for companies and for banks, because if you do $550 million in a single week, that locks money out. Then you come to the PM market, then folks run to the other side and say, well, this is a Naira transaction, we can do it. Even if you're offering this to me at a lower rate, I'm still going to buy because you're taking so much Naira out of my left pocket through FX. Now you're offering me treasury bills at a lower rate in the right pocket. I've got to do something because it looks like this central bank is heading, Godwin Emefiele is heading somewhere. Yeah,
I think for the CBN is like a win-win for them. So heads I win, tails I win, which we've always seen last week. So yes, absolutely correct.
It's okay. It's all about before the market goes on. So finally, in equities market, what are your views for equities? Whatever happens, do you think MPR is a game changer? Do you think if asymmetric corridor or for MPR is adjusted maybe by a few hundred or by 100 or by 50 basis points, do you think the stock market will blip on that?
Well, I don't think so. So for a lot of investors, they've been asking what's the next impetus, what's the low-hanging fruit for the market. For me, I think forex stability is going to affect participants in the equity market. But really, Q3 numbers have not really been something that investors usually look for as a basis for investing in the market. For equities market as well, I think a lot of prices are at their peak, so I don't expect to see enough rally in the equity market. But I think there's still a bit of prospect in the equity market, nothing significant, maybe another 10% as we close the year. But I don't expect anything from MPC to affect participation in the equity market.
In equities. So you think things are going to stay a little bit, you think folks are not so optimistic about Q3 earnings, really?
Yeah, but if you see a stronger GDP figures for Q3, that might encourage participation.
That could do it. But that will be in Q4.
Yes, that will be in Q4.
Yeah, that will be in Q4. So perhaps we could be going for a rally in Q4 into the new year.
Yeah, December effect.
Maybe. December effect. Yeah. Thank you. I remember that. January effect. Thank you very much, Bolahan. I know the head of investments at Quadros Capital.